So here's a look at our new kit. It's our Race Arcade kit from Monster Arcades. We're going to go over some of the options that it has. You can see the other one in the background. There's a few different colors you can choose from with the seats. We get Pro Car race seats for that. So they're fully adjustable and you can slide in them just like you would a car. So to adjust to your height, you can adjust the tilt of it. And it locks in place. I'm going to go around and show some of the other aspects of the kit. It is on casters, so it rolls around real easy. But when you get it in place and you're ready to put it where it's going to stay, we actually put the caster wheels have leg levelers on it. So when you put it in place, you can take it off the wheel and it becomes stationary, very solid. But if you need to move it, you just back it back down, you roll it around, and then you can set it back up in place, which makes really easy for moving around. On this particular kit, we did put the shifter assembly, so you can get your 6-speed shifter. For this, we can do Logitech Thrustmasters. We're working on the Fanatec layout as we speak. So you tell us the model and we will adjust this for the hardware that you're going to be putting on. We have aluminum diamond plate flooring for the rails. Where you attach your steering wheel, it actually articulates, so you can adjust it and you'll lock it down. That way it's kind of like tilt wheel on your actual car. And then where you place your monitor, we made a universal VESA bracket system up to 400 by a little over 400 on height, so it'll fit and accommodate most 55-inch screens. It has a cooling system on here, so it's got 220 millimeter cooling fans, fan covers. It's got a compartment box in here where you can put your computer, your PlayStation, or Xbox. On the floor rail itself, we also machined this, and we're going to show a video, time-lapse video tomorrow, of where you can adjust the gas, brake, clutch assembly depending upon the height of your driver. And here are the hardware items we're actually going to be putting in this system tomorrow. So we're putting a 4K 43-inch Vizio TV in. We're going to be running a Xbox One X, so this is going to be a 4K system. We're running the Logitech G920 steering wheel system with the optional 6-speed shifter. And then we have a little just apparel to put on the back. We're going to put a license plate, Ass Kicker license plate. We've done that on a few. It's always fun. So we'll start this tomorrow, and we're just going to time lapse the video of this kit going together.
Hey there, I'm Tim. I work in the shop here at Monster Arcades, and today we're going to take you from our arcade racing kit up through a full build using your own custom hardware. We're going to be putting on a 43-inch Vizio TV, 4K, the Logitech G920 racing system, and an Xbox One X. A quick thing to note before we get started, the Race Arcade kit comes on some very nice, very easy to move casters. They sit on bearings and rotate freely. They've also got leg levelers built in, so if you extend the leg leveler, you'll be sitting flush to the floor. Now, we might take it off the leg levelers and move it around just so you can see a bit better, but when you do this, get a nice open space, put it on the leg levelers, and don't move it. That way you aren't accidentally pushing your arcade away from you as you're trying to mount the TV and everything falls and breaks. Alrighty, so first things first, we've actually already measured out on our universal VESA bracket system the holes that we're going to drill out to mount our TV. So we're going to go ahead and do that. Now what you're going to want is a 1/4-inch drill bit, and you're just going to want to mark out all the spots you want to drill and then pop them. Alright, so next up we're going to put the TV in place. Now one thing to note is we found that it's sometimes kind of difficult, depending on the geometry of your TV, to get the cables in place when you've actually got it mounted. So we went ahead and plugged in the HDMI and power cables before we put it on. That way we don't have to mess with it. You can always take it back off. It's not hard. It's just 4 mounting bolts. But it is something to keep in mind just to make your life a little bit easier. Close view. So a quick thing to note, we went ahead and put in the top 2 bolts so it'll sit there. We put a number of washers on this. I think we've got 5 on it right now, just because the thickness of the plate that we actually put on the VESA bracket and the depth into the TV isn't the same as what they typically think of as a mounting plate. So if you don't use the washers and you drive it all the way in, you're going to end up either puncturing into the back of the TV or not being far enough in and having a lot of wobble on your monitor. Alright, so next up we're going to go ahead and mount our optional shifter attachment. It's going to go right here on the right. It's got 2 M6 bolts mounting it, of course with washers on them, just 1 washer this time though. These right here are the basically tensioners. They pull the little grippy bits up. They're nice to have. The bolts will definitely keep it in place, but this is a nice sort of extra measure of security. After you're confident you've gotten it secure, you're going to go ahead and take the cord and thread it through the hole just behind where the actual shifter is going to mount, and then through that shifter plate and into the main body of the arcade. For this system, all of the cords from all the peripherals are going to need to feed into the steering component. So what we're going to go ahead and do is put them all on beforehand. So the next up is the actual brake or pedal assembly. We already have holes drilled through the aluminum diamond plating on the ground, just like we had with the VESA bracket. And so now all we need to do is line it up right. What's nice about this is you can put it in position. If you don't like it, take it out, move it back. We've got 5 different depth options for you. We're going to go ahead and put it in at the one that we found works best for us here. In total, you're going to want to use 6 M6 bolts here, of course, with a washer on the end of them. Quick thing to note is that when you receive the kit, it is going to have a front plate on it there. You're going to need to remove that. There are 4 screws, 2 on each side. So basically just pull those out, set the front plate to the side, and then do the work you need to do and put it back. Alright, so next up we're going to go ahead and mount the wheel. There are actually going to be 4 cables coming out of the wheel. Well, I guess one's going in. We've got power, we've got the actual wheel USB cable itself that will be running into our Xbox, and we've got the 2 cables from the 2 peripherals, the pedals and the shifter that are going to be feeding into it. All of this needs to be run through the hole cut for the cable management for the wheel. The first thing to do though, before we even put this on, is to make sure we've got our wheel mount locked down. So you can see it adjusts just a bit to allow you to position the wheel at whatever position you'd like. We're going to go ahead and do it at full down, that way the wheel comes out pretty much perpendicular. And we're going to torque down those bolts. The bolts themselves are a 9/16, but if you don't have one, an adjustable wrench works just fine. Now, a thing to note about this is that it's absolutely adjustable anytime you want, really. The only thing that it might affect is the tension in your cables when you do your cable management. So, if you do it at full down, or basically as far forward as you can, like we have here, and then you run your cable management taut, any amount of adjustment will still be fine, because as you move back, there'll be a little bit more slack in the cables, and as far as you can move forward will have been what you managed for. So first things first, we're going to run all of our cables into our steering wheel and then run them around the bottom of the steering wheel. This is it's kind of specific to the G920, but it is important to know. A brief interjection to remind you that this presentation is brought to you by Staying Hydrated, because it's really, really hot in Georgia in the summer. Alrighty, so we've got ahead and gotten our wheel mounted. A quick thing to note, the arcade cabinet itself, made of 3/4 inch birch plywood, very heavy duty. The race systems themselves, made of plastic, also pretty heavy duty, but you, a human being, much stronger than they are. If you over torque those bolts, they will break something. So once you start feeling a bit of resistance, give it a shake. If it feels solid, it probably is. Also remember that you've got not just those bolts at the back, but the compression at the front from the twisty bits. So just keep in mind that you don't want to break anything, making sure it's never going to move, because if you kill the threads, it will move. Alright, so the last thing we're going to do in this video is we're going to hook up our Xbox. We're going to go ahead and swing it around and show you the back. There are still going to be some bits of sawdust, wood chips, from when we actually drilled through into that cavity. Don't worry about that too much. You can clean them up now, you can clean them up later, it's not a big deal. We use a compressed air hose to just blow them out. After this, all that's going to be left is cable management and actually getting your game to run, just setting it up, running through setup. Now, something to know about the design of our cabinets. We have, on the side, an additional door for access to the disk drive on your device. That way you don't have to open up the whole door, twist it, pull it out, swap out the discs. You can just open up that side door. So what we're going to want to do is make sure that we mount our Xbox such that it is facing that door. So we went ahead and ran the HDMI cable from the TV up into the box through one of the 2 ports on the bottom here. We also ran the USB cable from the steering column up into the into the Xbox as well. Now, when we do the wiring, typically what we like to do is have a extension strip inside of the actual cabinet itself, and then just run a single power cable out the bottom. If that's not to your liking, what you can do is you can take all the power cords, run them out the side down to an extension cable on the ground. Yeah, the only thing that's left is, of course, power for the TV. Again, we're going to run this up and into the box. You could run it anywhere you want. And now for a little bit of fun, we're going to mount our favorite license plate here on the back. And there you have it, a fully built out race arcade. Like I said, the only thing we have left is cable management. We'll have a quick time-lapse video of me doing that.